Another bad starting pitching outing and a critical mistake cost the Cubs another game in this series against the Cardinals. Hey, what's going on, Chicago Cub fans? It's your boy Mike Jones back again with another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. And I am here to talk with all of you about the Chicago Cubs. But first and foremost, before we get into today's topics, I do have to tell you guys that first and foremost, I appreciate each and every last one of you that tune into this episode daily. I also do want you all to know that you can hit a brother up, join the conversation, let your voice be heard, because not only is this the number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs, but this is the spot and the voice, the home of the voice of the Chicago Cub fan. That's right here on Chicago Cubs Central. Let your voice be heard. Sound off. How can you do so? You can write me an email at cubsbaseball1992@gmail.com, or you can leave me a voicemail at 217-816-5498. The Chicago Cubs season that looked so rosy-josy, looked so easy, looked like it was going to be a fly by seat of the pants, has turned almost into a nightmare instantly. The Chicago Cubs now just clinging to a 2.5 lead over not only the St. Louis Cardinals, but also those Milwaukee Brewers. That's right. The Chicago Cubs are 46-33 on the season. Meanwhile, the Milwaukee Brewers are 44-36. And the St. Louis Cardinals are 44-36. Chicago Cubs are clinging desperately to a short lead. And yeah, the NL Central race has become quite interesting. One thing I do want to check out with you guys is who are these teams going to see next? The Cardinals will see the Cleveland Guardians after they face the Chicago Cubs, and then they will turn around and they will face the bottom feeding Pirates after this. The Chicago Cubs, however, do travel to Houston. And then after Houston, they have the Cleveland Guardians coming to Wrigley Field, and then they will host those same St. Louis Cardinals the days after that. So like I said, it's not looking good right now. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's not looking good. But you know, it is also June, July here in a week. And I mean, right now, Cubs fans, that's pretty much all we can cling to, because it just seems like the Chicago Cubs are sleepwalking through these series, as they are not taking them seriously. It seems like Craig Counsell is, just kind of flying by the seat of his pants also. And it also seems as though this club is just not taking this stuff seriously. Like, these guys are not taking things seriously. We had PCA with the honestly the game winning error, where he forgot that the Cardinals only had 2 outs after he caught the ball in the center and literally was jogging and forgot to throw the ball in, and Mason went from second all the way home. That run right there won the game. BCA for as many games as he's put us on his back, and we've won because of him. There's also the game like this where, he has made a boneheaded mistake. And I know he's beat himself up about it. He went 1 for 4 tonight in tonight's game. His batting has not been what we needed it to be. Dansby Swanson went 1 for 5. Kyle Tucker and Seiya Suzuki had themselves a game, 3 for 4 and 3 for 5. Respectively. Who else had himself a game? Nico Hoerner, who probably by tomorrow will be hitting after Pete Crow-Armstrong in the lineup. I believe it'll go Ian Happ, Kyle Tucker, Seiya Suzuki, Pete Crow-Armstrong. Then it'll go Nico Hoerner, and then probably Swanson or Bush, and then Matt Shaw, who also went 1 for 4. Reese McGuire went 0 for 3, and Carson Kelly did pinch hit and catch one inning for the Chicago Cubs, and he went 0 for 1. Chicago Cubs got to figure out a recipe to get these next 2 wins. It is imperative that they get these next 2 wins to keep pressure off of themselves. As far as the St. Louis Cardinals, like I said, you can't control anything with the Brewers, because the Brewers are playing the freaking, Pirates, and Pirates just losing to everybody. Although the Pirates did beat the Brewers late yesterday. So they did take care of them on Tuesday, but I mean, they're only going to be so much help. I'm sorry, they take care of them. Yeah, Monday. It took care of them on Monday. I mean, they're only going to be so much help. So it is what it is. The Chicago Cubs got to figure it out. Tomorrow's game will be our live stream game. You do not want to miss that. We're going to be on playback. We're going to be on YouTube. We're going to be on X. You do not want to miss the opportunity to watch this game with me. You'll get live reaction from me. I'll tell you that. Like I said, and it may not be pretty. I ain't gonna lie to you. It may end up being, one of those things where we might end the live stream early if the Cubs go down terribly bad. But I have faith in the Chicago Cubs, and I think we need to have faith in the Chicago Cubs. I know a lot of us have PTSD. I know a lot of us see this season slipping away. But the good part, the silver lining in all of this is that this is happening early enough to fix it. Now, will they fix it? That's the conundrum. That's the conundrum for this Chicago Cubs team. That's the conundrum for Jed Hoyer. That's the conundrum for Tom Ricketts. That's the conundrum for Craig Counsell. Will they course correct and fix what they have going on? But they ain't the only ones that's slumping. Dodgers are slumping. Mets have lost 10 of their last 11. Like I said, the Yankees are slumping. It's all the teams that were hot have suddenly cooled off, and all these races are becoming tighter. I mean, like I said, so it's about how you adapt and adjust moving forward. And Craig Counsell is going to have to adapt and adjust his lineup. Dansby Swanson cannot hit in that spot anymore. I'm sorry. Michael Busch proved he can't hit in that spot. You might want to look to put Nico Horner in that spot where runners in scoring position. The middle of your lineup is on fire. Seiya Suzuki hit his 21st home run tonight. Kyle Tucker did what he did, sprayed the ball around the field. The home run ball hasn't been there for him yet. He hasn't clicked that yet, which I do expect he's going to find his direction once he gets back home to H-Town, where he's very, very comfortable hitting. I expect Kyle Tucker to go nuts in Houston and really put his stamp on this team. But as far as these next two games go, y'all, I mean, look, do I want the Chicago Cubs to win? Yes. Do I think they could take two? Yes. Will they? That just depends. Like I said, the Chicago Cubs have to figure out what they're doing here. But the Cardinals take two, and get their record even better. So tomorrow it will be Eric Feed going against Matthew Boyd. Matthew Boyd is a 6-3 record with a 2.84 ERA. Matthew Boyd has been phenomenal, and out of all the pitchers that we'll see in this series, Matthew Boyd is the best at not giving up the home run ball. He has not, like I said, he's the best at not giving up the home run ball. I know he's been watching, and I know that he sees what's been happening. I expect a very good outing from Matthew Boyd tomorrow. Eric Feed, I don't know if it's Feed or Feedy, one or the other. He will be on the mound for the St. Louis Cardinals. Hopefully, Chicago Cubs take a game, man. Just take it a game at a time. Take it a game at a time. It's June. And like I said, I was upset yesterday because my Cubs passion wants me to watch the Cubs mollywop the Cardinals every single time we play them. But it's also just not realistic. I mean, like I said, these two have played each other a lot. And I mean, like I said, the Chicago Cubs have gotten the better of the Cardinals, but the Cardinals have also gotten the better of the Chicago Cubs. And this Cardinals team right now is clicking. The Chicago Cubs, it's up to them to counteract that. How Craig Counsell will do that, I'm sure him and Tommy Hotovy and Dustin Kelly and the rest of his coaches will sit there at dinner tonight and try to figure out how the hell do we combat this, because we keep losing. We got to figure something out. We got to switch up this lineup. We got to switch up, what we're doing out there, and guys got to be on board. Like I said, PCA, I know he will not sleep well tonight. Jameson Tyone, I know he will not sleep well tonight. They're not going to sleep well tonight because, especially PCA, he's going to lose a lot of sleep. He's been losing a lot of sleep lately anyways because he really struggled in that Mariners series. And like I said, and now he's struggling again in this Cardinal series. And teams are really coming after PCA now with all this MVP talk. So again, like I said, PCA is having a phenomenal season so far, but you can't get ahead of yourself. You cannot get ahead of yourself. You have to take this one game at a time. And focus. The game probably would still be going on right now had PCA not given up that one run. So crazy, man. So crazy to think. But you live and you learn. You live and you learn. He is still super young. He's still super young, and he has been phenomenal. He's been fun. He's been electric to watch, and he's going to continue to be that. And I foresee PCA having some more big games ahead of him. Like I said, I expect Justin Turner to pull him to the side tonight, talk to him, and I expect the Chicago Cubs to figure it out, as they should and as they will do. And it's going to be okay. Now, how okay will it be? Win the division okay? I don't know. Will it be, wild card okay? Potentially. It just depends. But, Chicago Cubs got to figure it out. And I feel like I've said that a bunch, but that may be the title of this episode is Chicago Cubs got to figure it out. We have to figure it out. And sooner rather than later. But that's my episode for today. Join me tomorrow for the live watch along episode. I cannot wait to watch this Chicago Cubs Cardinals game with you. First pitch is at 6:45. You guys do not want to miss it. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a good time. We're going to do some Cubs trivia. Might have some guests pop in. We'll do a bunch of different things. It'll be fun. We'll have a fun time, regardless if the Cubs are winning or losing. Like I said, these watch-alongs are always fun. So grab your popcorn, grab your favorite snack. Let's pretend like we're in the ballpark, and let's have a good time. I appreciate each and every last one of you. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And again, like I said, make sure that you are sharing this information with everybody else. Tell people to show up to the live stream tomorrow, man. It's going to be a good time. Appreciate you guys. Until next time, go Cubs, go.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the #1 spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.